Me and my wife live together at East Finchley. Got 2 young children, aged, well actually at the time we started this process, our youngest was 3 months old, and our eldest had just turned 2. We had 2 cats, 2 dogs in a small terraced house, and we needed more space, desperately. So we knew we wanted to move. We knew we wanted to move to Pinner, because this is where my mother and father-in-law live and where my wife actually was born and grew up. So we were keen to move here, and my neighbour 3 doors down hadn't actually sold his house through Martyn Gerrard. He'd been living there, on the same road as us for a long time, but he knew someone that had, and actually spoke very highly of them. Said they would come in, give a sensible valuation, very professional, say how it is, etc, etc. So I shopped around a little bit. I went through some of the estate agents, obviously on the high street, etc, in East Finchley. Chris came round, head of sales at the East Finchley branch, and yeah, I liked what I heard. And to be honest, I didn't have anyone else around after that. I stuck with him. Did a good sensible deal. He had lots of evidence to show and back up, you know, what he was saying. I think that's a sort of scepticism you always have when you enter these things with estate agents, especially if you don't know, you haven't had much experience of it. We'd bought our house in East Finchley as first time buyers. This was the first time we'd bought and sold, so it was the first time we'd actually sold a property. So yeah, it was encouraging that he came along, I think, with quite a bit of evidence of what they'd done, and not just done in terms of selling homes, but selling homes almost on our road, or just adjacent, or just around the corner, and not, oh, and we did this 5 years ago. It's like, we did this last week, we did this 2 months ago. So I think, that gives you the reassurance that these guys are, they know what they're doing and they can do it. So that's kind of where I got to with it all. And I realised by going with Martyn Gerrard, they are one of the main players. They're not one of the sort of small fish trying to find their way. Martyn Gerrard are one of the big players in North London, but at the time that's what I wanted. I wanted a no fuss, straightforward, say what you're going to do sort of service, which is why I went with Chris and the team. We sold our property through Martyn Gerrard, all good to go, mortgage done, survey done, ready to exchange from our purchaser's point of view, and then the chain collapsed. Above us, nothing to do with us or the party below. We had to put our house back on the market because our seller was demanding much more money, which our purchaser simply couldn't keep up with, unfortunately. So we had to go back on the market, which again, Martyn Gerrard and Erkan actually oversaw. Yeah, we managed to successfully get actually over the asking price again, and this time we put the price up by a considerable amount in order to try and keep track with the amount of money that we had to pay up the chain now, because people were demanding more money because the market had moved on. And yet we managed to get 2 more people through the door within, I think, 24-36 hours, and with the second person that came through, managed to get an above asking price. Well, the main quality I expect in an estate agent is honesty. You're selling the biggest asset of your life, both financially and emotionally, particularly with family and children, etc. involved. So what you want is someone that's going to be upfront with you, both prior to securing you as a client and then afterwards as well. I felt Martyn Gerrard did that 100% with us, and the evidence of that is they came through and told us they'd sell our house, and they told us they'd sell it in a week. And they actually did that twice for us, at both times, either at or above an asking price, which quite frankly I didn't think was achievable either time. So they did what they said they were going to do, and they did it just as quickly as they said they were going to do. So yeah, honesty.